Welcome back to another episode of The Road Chose Me. My name's Dan Grech, and today I'm going to finish off the discussion about how to save money to live your dreams. Like I've been saying, we really want this ability to be under our control. So I don't want to wait till I win the lottery. I don't want to wait till my boss decides to give me a raise. I want my dreams to come true on my terms because I worked hard for them. So today I'll go over a whole grab bag of questions and answers and ideas around saving money. And if you've ever wondered how I actually go about doing it, stick around, I'll get into all the details right now. So this is video number 3 on how to save money. And if you haven't seen the first 2, I'll link them here above. I recommend you go and check them out because I'm building on those ideas and those explanations of how I save money to make my dreams come true. And you might notice there's a real trend here about putting the power in your hands to make your dreams come true. Something I'd like to talk about is the advice that lots of people get, which is to live within your means. And so people say, obviously, if you're living outside of your means, you've got credit card debt, you're buying new cars when you probably don't have enough money to do that. And obviously, if you're doing that, you're going to be in financial trouble and you'll just forever have to go to work to try and dig yourself out of financial trouble. So obviously, living above your means is a bad idea. So then people say live within your means. Be careful, make sure you only spend as much money as you have. And that is sound financial advice if you kind of want to keep doing what you're doing now. Live where you do live already, maybe buy a car. But if you're really looking to do something different with your life, if you want to take a couple of years away from work, if you want to have enough money in the bank to be able to drive all the way from Alaska to Argentina, gas alone, I spent $7,000 to do that, let alone all of the food and all of the hotels and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're looking to do something like that on a really big scale, simply living within your means, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to get you there. So my advice is actually live below your means. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is don't live by yourself. Even though we'd all like to, and the amount of money we earn probably lets us, it's kind of a status thing where, hey, I live by myself, I'm a functional adult. Instead of, oh, actually, I have a few roommates, we all split the rent, we split the bills. Obviously, that's a bit of a lower status thing, but living below your means like that, that's how you're going to be able to put away money so that you can eventually go and live your dreams. Same story when it comes to buying a car or getting a phone or really anything in your life. Living below your means makes the difference, and it's what's going to enable you to live your dreams. A couple of real life examples from my life. I have a rule on myself. I never buy anything new in my entire life. So for example, the jacket I'm wearing, I bought it used. The jeans I'm wearing, I bought them at a thrift store. I'm wearing hiking boots right now. I bought those off Craigslist. Literally everything in my life, from my snowboards to my mountain bike, my Jeep, lots of the things that are in the kitchen, everything like that, I buy used in an attempt to save money. And all of the money that I'm not spending on new gear, straight into my savings account, ready for the next adventure. So just buying things used is an example where I'm living below my means. I actually earn enough money. I could have bought a brand new jacket if I wanted to. I probably could go out and buy a brand new vehicle if I got payments right now. But if I did that, I wouldn't have any money left over to be squirreling away for my next adventure. So I make it a daily ritual to live below my means. It's not just within my means, I consciously live below my means. A comment that I saw online, someone said, yeah, Dan, I don't want to do that. I have no intention of living out of a vehicle for 2 years and driving to Argentina, so I don't really care about saving money. And I just want to say, of course, not everybody wants to overland around the world. I totally get that, and I'm not saying that you should want to. Obviously, if you don't want to, don't do it. But what I am going to bet you is I say, if I offered you an extra week off work every year paid, would you take it? I bet you would. What if I offered you 2 weeks or 3 or 5? You can spend that time with your family. You could spend that time learning guitar. You could do anything you want. Go fishing, go camping, even just hang out on the couch and read a book. all of those things, how do you want to spend your time? They're all valid because it's what you want to do that matters. This just happens to be what I want to do. But what I'm saying here is by squirreling away money, by being careful what you spend, you're going to enable yourself to take time off work and actually do those things with your life. And if you don't, you'll just have to go to work every single day of your life until 65 or probably even later for most people. So it's really just a choice. And I'm not saying save all this money and then you have to drive around the world. Of course I'm not. I'm saying spend less money, save some money, and you're buying yourself time off work in the future to do whatever it is that you want to do with your time. And what you want to do is valid because it's about you and your choice. A friend of mine used to say that debt is a promise of future labor. So you're basically promising somebody else that in the future, you will go to work to pay back the money you borrowed to buy a car or to buy a house or whatever it is. So even if in a couple of years you change your mind and you want to do something else in your life, you can't, you're going to be stuck because you have to keep paying back that debt, and that promise that you made still exists. And I really like to look at the other side of that coin, and I say that savings are a promise to myself of future time off work. So instead of promising someone else, this is a promise to me, which I like making. And I'm promising, yeah, Dan, if you work and keep putting aside money bit by bit by bit, at some point in the future, you're allowed to take time off work because you have savings. So you can still meet your monthly obligations, you can still buy food and pay rent and put gas in the tank, but you have an amount of time where you don't have to go to work to meet those basic needs. So this is me making a promise to my future self. So even though right now there's a pandemic, there's 6 feet of snow on the ground, there's a whole bunch of reasons why current Dan isn't actually on the road and excited about being on the road, but I'm making a promise to future Dan that yes, the day will come and I will get on the road and I will be able to have time off work. So that's a mind trick that I really think about when it comes to saving money. Promise myself I get time off work in the future. I've had a lot of comments too where people keep asking me what do I do for work or how am I able to afford these trips around the world. And I find that really interesting because I think that's people assuming that the ability to do a trip like this is based on how much money you make. But actually, I don't think that's true at all. The ability to do things like this is based on how much money you save, or to say it another way, how much money you don't spend every month. So obviously you have to earn more money than your basic needs. If you're only just earning enough money to pay for a room in a share house and eat basic food, then you're gonna have to work hard, and it might take years and years to slowly work up to earning more money. And lots of people too are commenting and saying, yeah, I'd love to do that, Dan, but you know, I'm in school right now, I can't. Well, that was the same story for me. When I was in school, when I was in my early 20s, I couldn't do this either, and I didn't. I just bided my time, I had patience, but I practiced all of my spending less techniques because I knew someday in the future I'd be in a position to do it. So then it's really important to remember, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you don't spend, which is entirely under your control. You're the one on a daily basis who pulls out your wallet or your Visa card to spend money on whatever it is you're spending it on. And every time you do that, you're just making the decision, oh, I guess I'm pushing my dream back a little bit further. It's gonna take longer before that can happen. And you're allowed to make that choice, but I think it's really good to be conscious. That way it's on you and you say, yeah, I made the choice and I'm okay with it and I feel good about it. Don't just sit at home and say, I wish I had a better job or I wish I earned more money, because that way you're blaming some external factor for the reason why you don't get to live your dream. And yeah, it's really important to remember this takes time, this takes patience. Lots of people that I met driving around the world, they had to put in years and years of hard work and savings and living cheaply, and that was how they made their dreams come true. I filmed a whole series where I bumped into overlanders in Africa and I interviewed them and asked them about their trip and what they recommend to other people. And all of those people I ended up camping with and they became friends of mine. Every single person was an ordinary, they were teachers, mechanics, bakers, ordinary folk. They're not rich, they don't earn a lot of money, but they all talked about, oh yeah, we rented a share house, or we lived in a basement, or we lived in our van for a whole summer while we had full-time jobs as teachers, just so we'd save the rent money because we knew that would help get us to Africa. So real people out there, they're funding these trips by sacrificing and living cheaply now because of the adventure that it enables in the future. So I hope that video has been helpful, and I hope the last couple of videos combined have really got you into the mindset of realizing saving money and making your dreams happen, it's up to you, and it is defined by your daily actions. Every single day for months and months, in reality for years and years, those actions are going to determine whether you can live your dreams down the road. So I'll be back on the road again here pretty soon, and lots of people are gonna say, no, I wish I had money to do that. Well, I only have money to do it because I've been making all these sacrifices for a long time now. So if this video is helpful, if you've enjoyed this series on saving money, please do hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, a big thanks to my supporters on Patreon who make all of this possible. I've got some new perks in the works, and my Patreons are gonna start getting more behind the scenes content and more updates on my upcoming trip very shortly. So thanks again for watching, stay safe out there, and maybe I'll bump into you on the road.